it's gone. One of my dearly beloved board games of all time, Battlestar Galactica, is gone. And of course, this demands explanation. How could I, who ranked Battlestar Galactica as my favorite game of all time, be gone? Okay, so I still love the game, I just don't need to own it. Oh, and then also, this is not a review, and for a proper how to play, that's not going to be here. See, Battlestar Galactica just completely captured my imagination as an innocent 16-year-old. I got that poster there, and I also got this poster here that I brought to college. Yeah, this was like a religion to me, man. Like, so say we all, you know? Fast forward a bunch of years where we played lots of board games, and hey, we launched a YouTube channel.
We're gonna be filming an unboxing video. Such heresy. Why do we make such low effort content?
And through this YouTube channel, I started to think a lot more critically about games. One, I was playing more games so I could get all these new ideas on design. But two, I now had to be a lot more careful and selective about how I spent my time playing games. So my personal gripes of BSG, my supposedly favorite game, really started to bubble up over the years and come to the surface. Okay, so first things first, BSG is a very long social deduction game that is about 4+ hours. This leads to all the awesome, aha, I knew it, you were silent this whole fracking time moments, but that length isn't really well handled here. See, sometimes you can be put in situations where you're not really doing all that much in the game. This ranges from being a fighter pilot, just mindlessly killing ships, to being stuck in the brig, or worst yet, being revealed as a Cylon very early in the game. Yep, this actually happened once. One of our friends used an ability to off someone else in the first round because he thought he had a hunch on him. Good news for the humans, it turns out that that hunch was actually right. But then for the Cylon player, well, he's now revealed. From a gameplay perspective, when you're a revealed Cylon, the lying part kind of goes out the window and you're reduced to doing less mechanics on a sideboard. Now, this is an extreme example, but the fact that stuff close to this can happen in a multi-hour game is really scary. Next, let's talk about how inaccessible BSG is overall. It's a long social deduction game that requires people to lie for hours on end. Not that easy to find people willing to marathon lie like that, and even less likely to find people like me who are brainstorming techniques on how to be good at lying in a game. Plus, even if I do find people to play, well, I gotta teach them how to play the game. Ever try playing a game fully about lying with lots of different mechanics and hidden cards with someone who's playing for the first time? Yeah, it sometimes doesn't go that well. The newcomer can be confused on what they're supposed to be lying about. Or maybe they are a Cylon and just reveal themselves way too early and now they're stuck on the side being a revealed Cylon, not playing much of the game. Combine these inaccessibilities with how we play with modules from all the expansions, and you can get to see how it's really daunting for newcomers. Actually, let's link this with the whole time inefficient thing, where we compare this game to the Resistance, the bread and butter of simple social deduction. In this, if you blow your cover, well, you're not gonna have much to do, but at the same time, the game is only 20 minutes, so it's not that big of a deal. In BSG, if you blow your cover, well, you have a little more mechanics to play around with compared to this, but you'll be doing that for about 3 hours or so. Yeah. Then let's talk about the crisis cards you do after everyone's turn, where you all secretly contribute face down cards too. I thought these were initially really cool, but because they're so frequent, it can get really grindy. To save time, our group just streamlined it to grab card, read thing, read colors, and that's it. Religious turmoil, yellow, purple, 7. This really takes me out of the immersion of being on a spaceship because the crises are just words and colors. The turn-on-turn crises checks are part of the magic of the big trader discussion that will come up when you analyze how people have been contributing to checks. And it also gives a way for people to routinely sabotage missions. The system is just not very smooth. It's rather clunky to me. Again, it's not inherently bad, but this grindiness nature is where the game's age is certainly showing. Nowadays, a newer design like Dead of Winter might have one crisis check after every round, not every turn, and then also the game is just shorter overall, so the grindiness isn't as big of a deal. That being said, I haven't found anything yet that replaces BSG in this lying tension that comes around through this clunky system. Those are actually all the big hitters for me. Now let's move on to the smaller ones with this number. 5. And no, this isn't the final 5 actually. This has to do with the player count. BSG only really does well with 5 players. No more, no less. Now we here have had a weird dynamic where we usually have 4 people or 6 people. Not really 5. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's just how it is here. Then maybe it's just our group, but the Cylons have won every single fracking time in this game. Yep, this is no matter how the loyalty cards are dealt at the beginning of the game. The record is like 12-0 or something like that. Now we have tried buffing the humans by giving them 2 more of every resource, and this makes the games a lot more close and entertaining, but Cylons still win every time. Again, maybe our group is just really good at lying, or the humans just really suck at working together and using this EXO card for the teamwork. But yeah, this has made outcomes of games a little too predictable, and even as a Cylon, I'm rooting for the humans to win, which is kind of messed up. The last one is that this game's theme, of which I adore so much, is just kind of what to people I show it to. Like really, every single newcomer I've showed it to within the last 6 years has no idea what Battlestar Galactica is. It's really been an uphill battle to get people to play the game if they don't know what the theme is. And this is all from my point of view, and I have a fond appreciation of the game. It doesn't cover all my friends' quips, like Daniel, who doesn't really like social deduction, and then also others who think that the strategy is just boring. And the truth is that when I seriously think about setting up a BSG board game night, there's no guarantee that the secrecy will all go well and it will turn out to be a good, long game. Like really, I am scared that my impression of BSG will get tainted if I play it again. It's kind of like not wanting to rewatch your favorite movie as a kid, because if you watch it again, now that you're older, your impression might not be that high. It's kind of like watching this again. Wait, no, this movie's actually good. It's kind of like rewatching that again. Yeah, it's not gonna be as hot. With BSG, it's a complex multiplayer game, not a movie. So there's so much that will be different on return experiences. There's the people you play with, the hidden roles that are dealt, and also all the cards that are drawn that are gonna change what the hell happens. It could be super epic intense down to that last die roll to get the FTL jump. Or it could be kind of a drawn out slog that is not so good. Or maybe it's good for most people, but then one guy got revealed early as a Cylon and he's not playing much of the game. Actually, from this, I found that BSG promotes a casual mindset despite it being very tense. There's a rampant random crisis checks, the board strategy isn't nuanced, and also the characters, they're unbalanced. I've even found that sometimes it's best not to do the most optimal Cylon reveal, because then that would reveal you as a Cylon, and then you're not playing a lot of the lying game for the next hour or so. When you combine this casual mindset with how long the game is, and how intense the lying is, there's this weird disconnect that can make bad feeling games of BSG feel even worse. The beauty of BSG is that it was able to blind me from its design annoyances because of its epic traitor moments it does so well. But now, with all my newfound knowledge, with playing all these newer games, well, the problems on Battlestar Galactica, a little concerning. These top 3 especially these top 3. So now I must announce that BSG is not my favorite game of all time, within the lens of this being a game that I am most wanting to play again. I'm scared that even that I've said this in my previous video, that if I play Battlestar again, it won't be able to recreate all those awesome moments that I know it for. So I suppose BSG is like an honorable mention for one of my favorite games of all time? Well, okay, you may be asking, Why don't you just keep the game though? Even if you're not really gonna play it, why get rid of it? Well, let me show you this.
What, Ashton, you are buying too many games. You're making me hold on them. What is this? Huh? God, fuck.
This space right here, from here to here, is where BSG used to be. In an alternate universe where I didn't have this YouTube channel, I think I would still have it here. I would probably play it every once 4 years or so, and if it did flop, well, I wouldn't mind as much because my expectations for board games would be lower because I'm constantly thinking about board games as it is right now. Do I regret selling it? Yeah, a little bit. Launching nukes as an admiral, throwing people in the brig, or destroying Galactica herself, these are thematic highs that have cemented cardboard crack in my life. But for me to touch the BSG box here with all the expansions, and to know that I'd only play it once every 4 to 5 years, means that I don't have to own a copy of it. God, I am just so lucky to have all these BSG moments in high school, and it's had its time, and it's time to move on. And that was my breakup manifesto.
Oh, God.
Battlestar Galactica is... I'm gonna put an S. I feel like this game has not really steered me wrong. If I've had a bad game, it's still amazing because of the theme. All the characters are in the game. Yeah, I'm kind of scared that this game is gonna continue to sit in my house and just not be played for a very long time. That's crazy. I used to have a bookshelf right here in my room, and before I go to sleep, I just admire this on my bookshelf. It's just amazing. And then I go to sleep, admire it. Oh! Thanks to our patrons for making videos like this possible. We got John S, Manuel G, Brian C, Clifford H, Aaron W, Max B, Bora, Jeremy M, C, Charlie B, Quinton S, Sam S, Travis R, Alvin Y, Vomsy K, Ryan D, Jennifer L, Brett M, Matt G, Peter Z, Spirit 71, Ryan J, Brad G, Tiamo, period, Mark A, Nathan C, James M, Evan B, Charles P Jr., Josh J, and Baspar. And we got 3 Mad Lads of cardboard. We got ZL, Jeff L, John F, and we got 1 Mad Lady of cardboard. We got Amy. So remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. Ring that bell for more board game content. We'll see if there's a BSG killer in the future. And let me know what your thoughts are on Battlestar Galactica in general. Anyways, see you guys later. Bye-bye.